Did Dwight Eisenhower meet with aliens in 1954? Did he have more than one meeting with them? If he did meet with them? Do you think aliens are from another star system that's millions and billions of miles away and light years away? Or the next star system, what do they call it, Andromeda? Or are they perhaps interdimensional and maybe live inside the Earth somewhere in our dimension or reality? Do you think it's possible that Eisenhower could have met with them? If he did, this whole thing would be run by the Defense Department, which would be part of national security at the most. And if they're working with them, you would have the things like Majestic 12. And do you remember Eisenhower's speech where he warned about the military-industrial complex? Maybe he knew a lot. Maybe he did actually meet these quote-unquote aliens, alleged aliens, right? Let's go to this article written by Michael Salla. This is from a little bit of a ways back in 2004 from Exopolitics website. On the night and early hours of February 20th through 21st, 1954, while on vacation to Palm Springs, California, President Dwight Eisenhower went missing and allegedly was taken to Edwards Air Force Base for a secret meeting. When he showed up the next morning at a church service in Los Angeles, reporters were told that he had to have emergency dental treatment the previous evening and had visited a local dentist. The dentist later appeared at a function that evening and presented as the dentist who had treated Eisenhower. Convenient. Okay, and then the event is possibly the most significant that any American president could have conducted. An alleged first contact meeting with extraterrestrials at Edwards Air Force Base, previously Muroc Field, and the beginning of a series of meetings with different extraterrestrial races that led to a treaty that was eventually signed. This astonishing first contact event, if it occurred, will experience its 50th anniversary on February 20th, 2004. Wow, so that was 2004. We're in 2019, so that's 15 years plus, so 65 years ago. This paper explores the evidence that the first contact meeting had occurred with extraterrestrials. See, I think that word is wrong because I don't think they're extraterrestrials, they're intraterrestrial. With a distinctive Nordic appearance. The likelihood of an agreement having been spurned with this Nordic race, the start of a series of meetings that led to a treaty eventually being signed with a different extraterrestrial race dubbed the Greys, and the motivations of the different extraterrestrial races involved in these treaty discussions. The paper will further examine why these events were kept secret for so long, the significance of the 50th anniversary of Eisenhower's meeting with extraterrestrials, and whether an official disclosure announcement is likely in the near future. All right, I just want to comment here. If you look, I have another video, couple on Admiral Byrd, Richard Evelyn Byrd, Evelyn. He had an experience where he was flying a plane with a navigator to the North Pole. A lot of people get this confused and they say South Pole. He did go to South Pole with high jump and that stuff over what they call Shambhala. But this is Agarthan. This is North Pole, the human-like looking intraterrestrials, where he flew his plane into a warm zone where he saw a woolly mammoth and he saw a green valley and water, and was kind of sucked in by a tractor beam and then taken by these very large, he said, beautiful looking human-like people. And he met the ancient master who looked like he probably was 1,000 years old, but he was sitting at a table in some type of crystal palace. But you can read up on that. That's Admiral Byrd's North Pole expedition when he went into the inner world and met with the Ancient One. Now, those would be the ones with the Nordic appearance. Now, the other ones, the Greys, I think they live in the world, and some of them are extraterrestrials. They're associated with demons. But like Zeta Reticuli, I honestly don't believe that's further away beyond the firmament. You know, these beings come from different frequency groups. Let's go down and read the conclusion to this. I like to skip to the conclusion. from the introduction. An examination of the evidence presented in this paper in terms of whistleblower or witness testimonies raises tremendous problems in terms of coming to a conclusive opinion over, first, the truth of the alleged first contact meeting between Eisenhower and extraterrestrials. Second, claims of more than one set of extraterrestrials meeting with the Eisenhower administration. And third, the various policy issues that arise from the meetings and subsequent treaty that was allegedly signed. Most perplexing is how to view the testimonies of whistleblowers who appear sincere, positively motivated, and have plausible stories, yet are plagued by controversy, allegations of fraud, inconsistency, and other irregularities. Due to the official secrecy policy adopted towards the extraterrestrial presence, it may be concluded that some of it, if not most of the controversy surrounding these individuals, has been caused by military intelligence agencies intent on discrediting whistleblower or witness testimonies. While there continues to be uncertainty caused by the controversy surrounding whistleblower testimonies and the role of military intelligence agencies in generating this controversy, the bulk of evidence points to a first contact meeting having occurred during Eisenhower's Palm Spring vacation on February 20th and 21st of 1954. The testimony suggests that the extraterrestrials in the first contact event, a race of tall Nordic extraterrestrials, were spurned due to their reluctance to provide advanced technology in an agreement. A subsequent meeting and treaty was then signed with a different set of extraterrestrials, commonly called Greys, who did not have the same reluctance in exchanging extraterrestrial technology as part of an agreement. Most of the available evidence that has found its way into the public arena suggests that extraterrestrial race with whom the treaty was signed, the Greys, are at best an enigma and at worst simply untrustworthy in their treatment of abducted civilians. Basically, people, the trade between the Greys and the White House was, you're allowed to abduct humans and conduct experiment a certain number. Let's say you don't take more than 50 we find out about in a certain time period. But I think they said the Greys overstepped and just kept doing whatever they wanted. But they shared technology with us, and things like free energy, lasers, gravity, Velcro, remote, whatever you want to say or think, depending on what you find in your research. Okay, they were untrustworthy in their treatment of abducted civilians. The subsequent shift in witness reports from friendly extraterrestrial contacts to disturbing abductions suggests that the Eisenhower administration had signed a treaty with extraterrestrials whose motivations and activities are an enigma as far as the general public interest is concerned. The activities of the gray extraterrestrials apparently continues to raise uncertainty for U.S. national security agencies in terms of an appropriate strategic response. On the contrary, the friendly Nordic space brothers faded from the scene since the Eisenhower administration saw them as not sufficiently motivated to serve the technological and strategic goals of U.S. national security agencies. The question of when disclosure of the treaty signed by Eisenhower and of the extraterrestrial presence might occur is one that has long been anticipated. A recent economic event might be a signal that some of the disclosure is possible in the near future. According to Craig Copetas, Bloomberg News correspondent in Paris, the World Economic Forum at Davos, Switzerland, from January 21st, 2004, discussed extraterrestrials at one or more closed sessions. In a story published on January 21st, Copetas claimed that forum officials maintain their 5-day program on partnering for security and prosperity requires an unambiguous examination of extraterrestrial presence on Earth. The Davos Forum is a gauge for trends in the global economy and discuss various topics that have a long-term effect on business. The inclusion of conspiracy theories of an extraterrestrial presence and technologies on the formal agenda has significance well beyond the hypothetical nature of the discussion. Okay, various national governments may well be tacitly letting the word out that their friends in the business community that they had better start exploring how a future disclosure of an extraterrestrial presence and technologies will influence the business world. As we approach the 50th anniversary, now 65th, of a first contact meeting we must do with wonder the awesome nature of this occasion. At the same time, we must do whatever necessary to make public the full details of the meeting and the apparent spurning of what appears to be a principled extraterrestrial race that rejected technology transfers while dangerous weapons programs were in place in the U.S. and elsewhere on the planet. Okay, the subsequent signing of a treaty at a later date with an extraterrestrial race willing to trade technology in exchange for limited medical experiments with civilians will surely go down in history as a deeply significant event whose effects continues to reverberate through human society. Finally, we must be alert to the mounting evidence that while a treaty was signed after the 1954 First Contact event, it may well have been with the wrong extraterrestrials, and that this might adversely impact on humanity if not dealt with in an open, transparent, truthful manner. We live on the verge of a bold new future with many uncertainties over the secrecy surrounding the extraterrestrial presence. What best prepares us as this information enters into the public arena are our faith, democratic values, and dedication to truth. Well, let me end it here by inserting some of my own knowledge and opinion on this, which I think would agree with a lot of you who are here, some of my subscribers. We have to look at this completely different. When I used to read these articles 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, if I believed that they happened, I had a different explanation for who these aliens were and where they came from. Now I see things a little different. You know, there have been a lot of things that we found out as truthers in the last 4 or 5 years about cosmology, our Earth, space program, and religions, and maritime admiralty law, and the way that countries actually cooperate together, such as in the Antarctic Treaty, where you have all of the big superpowers in the world signed a treaty and no one breaks it, no one exploits, no one does anything bad. In Antarctica, they all hold hands. Just like in space, we can hold hands with Russians as Americans. Even though on the ground, we have jet fighters flying over our battleships while they're disabled in the ocean over by the Black Sea. It makes you wonder, why do they participate? Oh, for science brotherhood, it's fine, we get along. But you start to notice that the world is run by a giant secret society with many branches. And these people they're calling the Greys, I believe, are from the Earth. They've always been here. They were called the Jinn. They were the ones that Cain talked about is in the book of Enoch, where when he was marked, he said, what will the ones that live in the earth, what will they think of me? So that means literally if the government is sharing technology with these beings from a lower density or in the earth, it can't be good. And how interesting that the Nordic ones who look like humans won't share technology with us because they have like some form of a basic ethic in their culture where they've decided that would not be proper for us to do that, because that'd be like giving firecrackers to a baby, you know, and having in matches, you know. It's going to hurt itself, blow ourselves up, destroy the earth, destroy humanity. So, do you think Eisenhower met with them? I think it's a possibility. Admiral Byrd's journey down there was in the late 40s. There are a lot of things that happened around that time. I know a man who cleaned up the Roswell crash and described the two aliens laying on the dead ones laying on the blanket, because he walked right up to them and looked right at them. The way he described them is the way this alien looks in this picture I chose. There's another picture I have somewhere on my channel where you can see the alien with the burnt face with the bubbly cheeks. That's what my friend told me, is one of them on the blanket had a burnt face and his cheeks were all bubbled up. And when I found that picture of the alien with the bubble face, I was like, oh, that's what he told me. And he told me like in 1991, 92, and I found it in Google Images like in 2004, about when this article came out. So let me know. Hope you enjoyed the show today. Till I post another video, enjoy yourselves. Goodbye.